Well, welcome to my studio. We're back in Slovenia, painting the village of Piran. And I showed you a picture at the very beginning of the painting. I have my reference photo of the village taped onto the unpainted part of the canvas. My sketch, my mud sketch, which the mud is 2 parts of ultramarine blue plus 1 part of alizarin crimson, and I've added a lot of liquid into that to make a thin wash. That's how I sketched up my initial plan up on the canvas. That's all dry now. So I can tape the photograph up there and it can just be right where I can see it. I tape it to the canvas with painter's tape. That won't leave any sticky residue on the canvas and it comes off very easily. So the water has been painted with mixtures of my mud plus ultramarine blue plus white. That's in the very, very distance. That is a more muted color. As I come forward, I have mixtures of ultramarine blue plus white, and then phthalo blue plus ultramarine blue plus white. Then as I come closer, this is phthalo blue plus white in this area. And then in the very front, I'm using a little bit of a special color, phthalo turquoise blue plus white. And this helps to give depth to the painting. The muted colors recede, the brighter, more intense colors come forward. So you can see those muted colors back here go back. The mud plus ultramarine blue plus white, that falls into the distance as we come forward. The green, the turquoise phthalo green, is a brighter, warmer color, more intense, and so it comes forward. Now I'm going to start working on this village. And first of all, the buildings in the village are they're rock, they're stone, most are cream colored, some are white, some are darker. So I just scumble a bunch of different colors up here. Now the village is very far away, so we're not going to have a lot of detail in the buildings, but there will be, we'll have roofs and stuff. As far as windows, doors, that kind of stuff, it's just too far away to see that, except maybe in some of the bigger buildings. And I'm going to have the light really hitting in this section of the village. Down in here, I'm going to let it be more in shadow so that your eye will focus there. And I need to make another mixture that's a little bit darker. I want to have some pretty good darks in there where those buildings are in shadow and they recede down into the depths of the streets and stuff. So this is a mixture of my mud plus ultramarine blue plus some white plus just a tiny bit of orange to warm it up. And I'll wipe off my knife with my tissue. And again, I just start putting these colors up here. And these hills are going to be more foliage and trees and stuff. The city comes down, the town comes down into this area. It'll be behind these trees. I had to go online and look at Google Maps and look at the satellite view because I really don't have a good picture of how this harbor goes. So I went on to Google Maps and put in the satellite and looked real close, and I could see how there's a pier that comes out into here with buildings and stuff on it. So I could get the general shape of the configuration of the harbor. Again, I just put a lot of different color up here. Some blues in there. In my reference photo, the light's coming in from the left. In this painting, the light is coming in from the right because I want it to hit the big house over on the left side of the canvas. So my light's going to be a little bit different than it is in my reference photo. And it's going to be hitting this church back here and then also this little domed building. I'm going to mainly focus on this part of the village right now. I know this doesn't look like anything at this point, but you'll see. So these buildings in my reference photo, this side of the buildings is light. Well, in my since our light's coming in from the left, this side of the building is going to be darker. And I don't want them all the same. And I don't mind having some texture in here because this will just give the feel of this village. But you get some little lights coming in here. Mix a little bit more of my lighter color, and this is white plus a little bit of my darker mixture, which is mud plus a little bit of cadmium orange. And so and then I add just a titch more white into that, just to warm it up. Still gives me a cream, but it's a warmer color. I'm going to get a little different size brush. This is what I want. And our church is, this side is going to be darker because it's in shadow. As you can see, I love these bright brushes. Again, they have that square end, and it really makes it easy to do my little buildings. I put some little uprights in here again. This just gives me some darks in there and helps start to delineate the feel of different buildings in there. The upper part of this tower is stone, so I can just embrace my brush here, or my hand against the canvas. And then I'm going to use a little smaller brush here for the lighter portion of it. Against the blue in the background. Now I'm going to clean my brush out in the thinner, wipe it with the tissue. The secret to clean color on your canvas is a clean brush. You get a lot of different paint on your brush, and it's all going to mix together, and you're not going to have very good looking paint. Well, I'll say it here in a minute, I'm getting tongue twisted. Your paint on the canvas is going to get mixed up and muddy. So you need a clean brush. And this tower looks very much like Venice. And the buildings in this village are very reminiscent of Venice. Which, if you've never been there, it's a beautiful, beautiful city. I'll have to come back and put more detail onto this, but this kind of gets me started. Get a little different brush here. This is where I need a smaller brush and make the tip top of that tower. Like I say, this is in the distance, so it's not going to be super detailed, but still want to be able to, want the basic shape to be light. And now on the church, let's make the roof. I'm using colors from my roof on the villa on the left side of the canvas. But again, I can use that square brush and just put it in an angle, and it makes my roof. Now this roof is a little bit higher up. And then there's another little roof right here. So this is beginning. Again, I've got more work to do on this, but this is beginning to look like our church. Go dark along here. Now the upper level of this, between these two roofs, is a little bit shows there. And then I'm going to this roof. Again, this is And this is going to be a little darker here then, because this is a different plane. That starts to give us the feel of that church. I am going to, we will see some windows and stuff in this one, because it's tall and we can see them. This tower has a little bit, but again, it's not real delineated, it's just we don't want to just get every little window and detail in there, because if we do, that will come forward. Less detail goes back, more detail comes forward. So it's kind of a fine line, and if I have to come back and add more detail, I can. But this gives me a start. This paint will be nice and pliable for a couple of days, so I can always come back and make that a little bit lighter so that it stands out against that darker portion. Now, while I'm working, I don't answer the phone. Besides, usually it's some kind of a sales call anyway, but even if it's, all of my friends know that if I'm working, just to leave a message and I'll return the call when I get to a break. So, that's what voicemail is for. It's just too interruptive to answer phone calls and emails while you're painting. And this is a job, this is my work. As much as I love it, I have to be very selfish of my time and my work time. Now there's going to be on the far side of that roof, you're going to see just a little bit of that roof coming down on the other side. So there we go. I'm going to increase this just a little bit here. Too much paint on my brush. And then here it's going to be, actually this is also going to be in shadow right here. This part right there. When I got my paint dropped in, my brush dropped into my paint. And we're going to have a little bit of a highlight right here where the sun catches just the touch of this building here. And our tower gets a little bit light right there. I'll put a few roof lines in here just so you can see how that. And like I say, I've still got a little bit more work to do on that tower, but that gives you that shows you how I go about doing that. And I'll tell you what, the unknown caller, whoever it is persistent, but they're just going to have to wait. Then I'll start putting there's some trees in here, so we start putting those in. But you can see how this starts beginning to look like a little village down here. This will take a while to paint. This will probably take me all day. Most of this session. But anyway, that's how. There's a little tree right in there. But that's how I go about doing this. My tree mixtures are ultramarine blue plus some cadmium orange plus cadmium yellow medium, and then this is a mixture of phthalo blue plus some white plus cadmium orange. And I just use some different greens in here. Here's a little lighter lighter mix here. So that's how we go about painting our village. But you can see how that already is looking like the church and the buildings and all back there. Let me put a few more of the little rooftops in. I really appreciate you watching my YouTube videos, and please visit my blog. The link is in the description below. It's also, the address is on the final frame of my video, and you can go to the blog and see the entire step-by-step process of this painting. You can also subscribe to my blog and you'll get an email every time I put up a new post. So thank you so much. I appreciate you watching, and just happy painting.